move over to the warm up, I'm gonna take her through a cervical and thoracic mobility, just kind of warm up. And these things that we're gonna show you today, you don't have to do every single thing, every single rep. Depending on how she's feeling, I'm gonna tell her going forward, if she needs a little bit more neck stuff, do the neck stuff. The T-spine, the core, the hips, depending on what she's training today or at that time, she can utilize these tools and just pull them out when she needs them and not just every day do the same thing, because you're always gonna be feeling different. You mentioned it depends on how you feel that day. That's what you need to do. You always need to be in tune with your body. And if sometimes things don't feel right, there's nothing wrong with taking a day off from the gym or just going lighter. And sometimes after you do a few lighter sets, you start to feel better. And there could be a couple different factors there. It might be stress, lack of sleep. You might be overworked, overstimulated, too much caffeine. There's a lot of different things that go into that. So each workout is a lesson that you can learn. Each training session, failure or a PR, you can learn something from. But me personally, I've always learned more from missing a lift than actually hitting a lift, because whenever I've hit a lift, like for instance, the 1306 that I did last October, that confirmed all my biases. It confirmed, oh yes, you know what you're doing. But a failure would be like, dude, I don't know anything. What? And then you got to go back to the drawing board. So I'm not saying I don't like having success, but at the same time, you tend to have your confidence bolstered a little bit, which may not always be good for long-term success. So it's always good to be you don't want your lows to be super low, and you don't want your highs to be super high with everything that you do. So with that said, let's go over to the bench press over here. Okay, so before we start taking a look at her squat, I'm gonna take her through some cervical mobility. And so if you would, Mikayla, have a seat right here and put your back against the bar there. To do this is gonna be very simple. I just want you to go into neck extension and then back down. Extension and then back down, just do 10 times. 2. So we're just activating and mobilizing the cervical spine a little bit. Then we're gonna do a little bit of T-spine, and then we're gonna do a little bit of shoulders. And then we're gonna work our way down in the core just to get her nice and ready. And again, like I was saying a minute ago, you don't need to do exactly 10 reps or exactly 15 reps with these. If you feel good after you do a couple of them, move on to the next thing, especially for this mobility stuff. So now you look good, and let's go to the left a few times. Yeah, yeah. And we're not trying to be the exorcist here or anything. We just want to get a little bit of rotation, and you're gonna notice one side is gonna be tighter than the other. So, yep. Good.
I do this every day at my desk.
Do you? Okay, good. Let's go to the right now. Let's do about 10 times or so. Have you noticed the side that's a little bit tighter than the other?
This one's.
Okay. So what I like to tell clients is if you have a weaker side or a side that's worse in any way, start with that side first. So if your right side's always tighter, go to that first and don't be scared to attack it first and do a couple extra reps if you feel like it. All right, that's good. So we got the C-spine going a little bit. So now I want you to put your fingertips on your shoulder, and I want you to slide back against the bar just a tad more. There we go, just like that. And I want you to gain a little bit of leverage and get a little bit of T-spine extension. I just want you to put your elbows up towards the sky. Just like that, and then back down. Yep, just a little bit, yep. 2, 3, perfect. 4, and I want you to turn, hold for 1 second, and then rotate, other one. And you're gonna notice again, one side is gonna be way tighter than the other. Don't worry about that, it'll open up little by little, okay? Hold 1 second, and then twist. And you want to keep your feet nice and fixed. Like, it's easy for a bigger guy like me, if I'm doing the rotation, to pick my feet up and move, but that's not what we want to do. We want to keep the feet nice and flat. Good? A couple. You could even do it driving to the gym. You can get your flossing done, extension, a little rotation, then you're ready to go, right? So the next thing we're going to do is called the shoulder big 3. And I know you've done similar things like this in the gym. It's similar to a YTI. But like these head and neck exercises, I learned these from Dr. Andrew Locke. He's a world-renowned physiotherapist in Australia, a really good dude. And he taught me a bit when I tore my rotators, how to rebuild them, stabilize, but mobilize what needs to be mobilized. So we're gonna come over here on the ground and we're gonna put a mat down. And I want you to lay face down on the mat, and we're gonna do 3 moves. We're gonna do out to a T 10 times. Then we're gonna come down in the middle 10 times. And then we're gonna go palms up, 10 times. We're gonna come over here on the mat. Let's just move them about 2 inches. So come up and back down. Couple more. Very good. All right, now let's slide our hands down. Right there. Now here's the key with this one. That's perfect like that. So what I want you to do to make this even harder, the other ones are kind of a joke, but this is the one that most people struggle with. I want you to pick up your thumb first, your thumb side first, and then the rest of your hand. Okay? Just like that. 2, 3, 4. And you can go faster than that. I just don't want you smacking your hands on the ground. Good. You feel that one a little more than the T?
Oh, yeah.
Good. That's a great one.
I feel it in my cervical spine, too.
That's why we wanted to hit the cervical and T-spine first, because you can't have healthy shoulders. Well, you can. I don't want to say never and can't, but a lot of the time your shoulder deficiencies have to do with your cervical and T-spine, so that's why we hit it all at once. And again, if you don't have a big deficiency there, you don't have to focus on it, but we're kind of going through all those things now. Okay, the last thing I want you to do is I want to put your hands by your side, and now I want your palms up. So this is the only one that you have your palms up. So palms down for the T, palms down for the one before this, and now we're just going to do 10 with the same method. Good. These are typically the easiest ones because they resemble more of like a side raise or something like that. They're not bad. But the second one, where you lead with the thumb, that's the one where people really tend to struggle. Good. Thank you so much for watching today. Please subscribe, like, and share if you enjoyed this video, and have a wonderful day.